Hey everyone, it's RiseSchool007 and we're back with another video. This week, SpaceX is going to be conducting a hop of their new prototype, Ascent. SpaceX is planning to light all three sea-level engines below Ascent and fly to an altitude of 15 kilometers or around 49 to 50,000 feet, which is almost double the height that commercial planes fly. After engine shutdown, the Starship will begin a free fall back to Earth, kind of like a skydiver. Here in the free fall, SpaceX will really get to test out the new flaps on the side of the Starship, as they haven't really been able to test them yet because there hasn't really been a situation to test them in yet. Then just a few hundred feet off the ground, the engines will relight and the Starship will do this insane flip maneuver with the engines, flipping about 90 degrees and then come to a complete stop on the landing pad. Now, just from that, a lot can go wrong. First of all, lighting the engines on the pad seems like a pretty bad idea just in general. Earlier this month, Ascent had a static fire, which almost cost SpaceX their entire vehicle. Martite, I think it's called. From the pad below, which is used to cover concrete as like a sort of heat resistant thing so the concrete doesn't blow apart. Well, that Martite actually broke apart and shards of that, tiny little shards of like blades of this Martite flew up into the engines of Ascent and severed an avionics cable and caused engine shutdown. Now here you can see this liquid lava almost just falling out of what looks like one of the engines. Since a vital cable was severed, SpaceX lost all control of the Starship and they couldn't depressurize the vehicle. Since they couldn't relieve the pressure building up inside the fuel tanks, they were basically relying on a tiny little disc called a burst disc. Well, it's not that tiny, I think it's like that big. Burst discs are designed to burst at a really high pressure, which means they'll most likely burst in an emergency situation. Like this. Luckily, it ended up bursting and relieved all the pressure from inside, which saved the prototype, which very lucky for. From this, with the engine and the burst disc and everything like that, they had to attach a new engine, do some new work on protecting the avionics cables, and they did another static fire of just one of the engines, I think. Which here you can see more shards are actually flying just from a single engine. If three fire, most likely at near full power, the launch pad is going to need some serious work, or it might even launch just massive shards of this Martite up into Ascent and just blow the whole thing up on pad or just above pad. There's a lot of endings here where things could just blow up. If it clears the pad successfully, it gets up, it's past everything. Now we are reliant on everything with the programming to work right. The engines have to stay lit for a certain time. The Starship can't veer off course. One engine can't break on the way up. The Starship can't have a leak. There's a lot here. If the Starship successfully launches all the way up to its certain height and has a successful, perfect engine shutdown, it will begin its descent, where this is where it gets extremely dangerous, because basically you have a massive bomb about 50,000 feet up above that can make a huge explosion. Literally everything needs to go right for this test, otherwise there's just gonna be a massive explosion. On the way down, the flaps have to work perfectly to what SpaceX planned, and it has to keep the Starship on course. I don't know what could happen if one of the flaps fails, but looking at planes, when a flap fails, it isn't good. Although this thing isn't a plane, it has three rocket engines, about 1,600 feet off the ground. All three engines, or a combination of those, I don't really know, relight, and the entire Starship has to flip. If this flip goes too far, it's gonna send it flying that way. If it doesn't flip enough, it's just gonna smack into the ground. It has to be really precise and really calculated. According to Elon himself, Ascent only has like a 30 to 33% chance of actually being successful and landing in just one piece. But hey, any chance is a chance. I'm honestly super excited, and right now filming, the hop is scheduled for December 2nd, which is this Wednesday, but it could easily get delayed. But in case anything happens until hop day, any explosions, anything like that, Ascent is waiting for its chance to shine. Now me personally, I think Ascent might blow up. I think the ascent will be perfectly fine, but I think the descent will be the rough part of the flight. Although if they pass the descent, the relight will be fine, but I think the flip will be the hardest part. But I honestly have no clue. I really want SpaceX to succeed with this test, and I'm super excited to see this thing light up and take off. If any of you want to watch this thing live, SpaceX will be having a live stream. It'll probably be really short, but it'll be there, along with a lot of great YouTubers who will be streaming way before the launch, like channels like Everyday Astronaut, who has the best reactions to Starship.
Oh my god, it's actually flying! No way, the ground is shaking! Yes! Oh, baby! Water towers can fly!
You got NASASpaceflight, who are really great on their predictions.
Sometime in the last 12 to 18 hours, they decided to go for a wet dress rehearsal instead.
It's like a really short static fire.
And even LabPadre, who has a live broadcast of Starship and Boca Chica 24/7. Links will be in the description to each channel, and you can go check it out. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you really liked this video. If you really liked it, make sure to comment down below and like the video. Let me know if I should do my own live stream of the launch. I don't know, doing a live stream would be pretty cool. I haven't really done one before, like a official live stream, not just me going like, gonna film. And of course, if you really, really like this video, please subscribe to see more content like this. Thank you, and peace.